Hey guys, Chris with T3 Meters, and I'm going to give a reaction to, well, a review of what I just saw with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I gotta say that I did not expect to see what I saw. It was way better than what I expected. Not just from an animation, just from a movie in general. It checked all the boxes as far as like what a comic book movie is, and then it went even further than that. I mean, it felt like, I mean, well, probably just because it was an animation movie, it was like a comic book movie brought to life, and it did that better or just as good as what the first Avengers movie did. Now, overall, getting to know the what was from in the comic book world, the Ultimate Spider-Man universe, where in this alternative universe, Miles Morales witnessed the death and the murder of Spider-Man. They didn't do it exactly the way it was done in the comic books, but you know that would have been too big, too much for one movie. But the way they did it was pretty cool, and the way they explained the multiverse and all these different Spider-Mans coming all out of nowhere was great. Now, I think that a lot of people who were against a new Spider-Man, even though this was not like if Spider-Man was real and Spider-Man was really in our world, that Miles Morales is not would not be our Spider-Man. He would be an alternative Spider-Man from some other dimension. Our Spider-Man is still Peter Parker. Our Spider-Man is still the one and only. This Spider-Man is from the Ultimate Marvel universe, where in that world that Spider-Man is killed and he takes the mantle, which is the almost the same story from all the other Spider-Men or Spider people from the other dimensions and whatnot. Some old, some young, some different, some girls, some animated pigs. But Miles Morales is becoming a fan favorite, and he's gaining more and more popularity, which is why they are making the Miles Morales character a lot more present and not having the age gap be so wide in a lot of stories. For example, like in the cartoons, in the current cartoons on Disney XD, I think Miles and Peter like are in the same class. In the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, I think he's probably in an elementary school and whatnot. He's only slightly mentioned. But the Miles Morales character, I've always liked him since day one. I mean, people are always going to say what they're going to say. A lot of people, a lot of idiots out there were saying things like, you know, I don't like Spider-Man. Straight up, just I don't like the Spider-Man because I can't imagine a black Spider-Man and whatnot. And a lot of people feel that way like about a lot of things. Like when people say that I want to make a new Superman movie, and I was thinking about casting Will Smith to play Superman. You know, okay, fair enough. I'll give you that. That's I mean, you're doing the whole Ghostbusters thing. Just make them girls for the sake of being girls because you're trying to ride a wave, right? But Miles Morales is different. It's not like they're not trying to replace Spider-Man. This is a what if story. If Spider-Man dies and the world still needs a Spider, there always needs to be a Spider-Man. And that's why Miles Morales is always bring his origins is being retold and redone. They're trying to jigsaw his origin story to fit. Like, should he be working side by side with Spider-Man, or will he really replace Spider-Man one day? The weird thing about Miles Morales is he really works as a teenage boy. Then I saw a picture of him like as supposed to be a grown man. Like, I'm used to seeing a grown up Spider-Man, Peter Parker, but I wasn't really used to seeing. I didn't know how I felt about seeing a grown Miles Morales with a mustache. You know, it was weird. I don't know why. He works better as a kid, but the guy has to grow up someday, right? But so overall, okay, so that out of the way. What did I think about the movie? I think it was. I loved Wreck-It Ralph too, but this was the best animation movie of the year. This was the best animated movie I've probably seen in a long time. This, I don't like everybody's talking about Oscar, this and that, and the other. I don't know. I'm sure the Academy still feels about animation the way it's going to feel. So that's why they made an best animated category, right? Okay, let's just say for the sake of argument, the only thing that it could maybe best screenplay, all that stuff, original story, maybe I don't think it deserves the nomination. But if it does not win best animation, I will be shocked. I definitely deserved a nomination, but I think it deserves to win. I think I loved Wreck-It Ralph. This movie did things that even Disney is. Believe me, Disney is looking at this movie and going, "We need to do something like this. How do we let Sony get here before we got here?" That the way they use colors, the music. I watched the digital. I didn't watch the 3D version of it. I watched the standard definition of it, but it still felt 3D. I could see the effects that they were doing, things that were blurry and out of focus on purpose that would have probably been in focus on 3D. It worked really, really well. The color, the things that it did with colors was amazing, and the thought bubbles and things like that for the comic book effect, perfect. I've never seen it done this well. Breaking the fourth wall, things like that, perfect. It was as close to a 10 as you can get. Nothing's perfect, but it's close to this. The animation style is not going to be for everybody, but it's close to perfect as you can get. Now let's talk about something else, a little bit more risque. All right, when you think about hitting that subscribe button or unsubscribing because of what I'm about to do right now, how do I rank it with all the other Spider-Man movies? Right off the bat, I'm going to tell you, already I like it better than any of the Amazing Spider-Mans. I love the Amazing Spider-Man Part 1, Amazing Spider-Man 2. I love Amazing Spider-Man 1. Beats that. Beats Spider-Man 1. Definitely ahead of Spider-Man 3. Definitely beats Venom. How do I feel about, does it beat Homecoming? Does it beat Spider-Man 2? Where's that ranking? It's now between Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and Homecoming. I don't know where they're going to rank. Those are my top 3 Spider-Man movies, and it's probably going to bounce around. So let's say out of all the three different versions of Spider-Mans out there, it would go. There's Spider-Man, the Tom Harding Spider-Man, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man from Spider-Man 2, that movie, and now this. And if there's a top 3, and hey, like I said, I like the Amazing Spider-Man. It was up there in the top 3 until this. This one bumped it out of the top 3. If there's only 3 slots. It's Tobey Maguire, Spider-Man 2, Tom Hardy's Homecoming, and now this. Not in that order. I gotta sit on it a little bit. Because this Spider-Man was funnier than any of the Spider-Mans that I've seen. Now I'm not talking about Miles Morales. I'm talking about Peter Parker. Peter Parker was funnier in this than he was ever in Amazing Spider-Man, than Tom Hardy Spider-Man and Holland Spider-Man and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man put together. He was funny, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I believe the guy from New Girl was the voice. He was a perfect fit. Nicolas Cage was a perfect fit for Spider-Man Noir, and Miles Morales, he brought a level of comedy and pain and drama that I'm telling you, the character fits. This character brings it home for Spider-Man fans. If you were on the fence about Miles Morales, I think this movie might change your mind about him being considered a legit Spider-Man. If you hated the idea of Miles Morales, this movie would probably bring you like, okay. It doesn't wash away or erase Peter Parker at all. It doesn't. It explains the whole multiverse better than any of the books ever did. It did a real good job of bringing it all home. And overall, it was just an exciting movie. The world wasn't at stake. The city was at stake. The people were in danger. It was at stake. Even Aunt May brought it. Everybody, all these characters brought it. There has to be a part 2. It left the door open for a sequel and closed it at the same time. It was a very well done movie. And of course, the man himself, Stan Lee, probably it was the moment that really brought it home. The cameo with Stan Lee was awesome, and it felt like he was saying goodbye. So overall, like you are right there, you know how I rank it. I thought it was great, and I'm gonna have to see it again. I gotta see it again in 3D. Go check it out, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Go check it out. I give you the high recommendation, and you will. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. If you don't, it's not. Don't worry about it. Um, but let me know. At least let me know what you thought about it. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like my review. And until next time, guys. Peace.